Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. Earlier this week, Shuka had asked me if I'm stronger than a T-Rex, if I'm stronger than a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And I said yes. I'll explain why. And then, again earlier this week, Vyasa was lifting some 3-pound weights, and he was pumping them up and down and then put them down and said, my muscles grew, correct? You can see them growing while I'm doing this. And I said, of course I can see this. Our children's notion of strength, and it's because they're children, it is only external. Why I shared with Shuka that I'm stronger than a T-Rex is because I can be intentional. More important than Vyasa's muscles is his mind. So I was sharing with him, it's good that you're growing your muscles, but are you growing your brain too? I share all of this because Meaningful Mornings is a gym. It is a gym to train ourselves to be strong enough to let go. Let go of dependence on circumstances, articles, and beings, to let go of results, of actions. When you let go of all, that is where you realize you are all. All those in our silence retreat are sharing in the chat. There is so much to unlearn that you can never be content without contemplation. What we are doing together is indescribable, it is invaluable, and so on. The nature of the Spirit is love. How so? How can this word be described onto the nature of the Spirit? Because the nature of the Spirit is infinite, oneness. The way we love ourselves, it is natural to love all other beings. And shared in a more tactile way, the nature of the Spirit is love. There is nothing to gain for the Spirit, and so there's nothing to lose for the Spirit, in which case everything that the Spirit relates to is better. When you relate to an article, being, or circumstance where you're trying to get something, there's an ulterior motive, that relationship is corrupted. If there's nothing to gain, there's nothing to lose, that is a pure relationship. In contrast, the nature of the ego is separation. The infinite cannot become finite, but the fact that we're feeling finite, that is solely on account of the ego. Where there's separation, what comes next is identification. Identification. In the Bhagavad Gita, this is the notion of doership. I separate, identify with a facet of this separation, and start to feel I am the doer. This particularly gets expressed in the intellect. Separation in the ego, when it starts to express, the next equipment is the intellect, that is doership. Today in our Suveda, our Subodha Vedanta class, I will be exploring the chapter on Maya, but specifically, how to cross over this ocean of mundane existence. First, one has to know what Maya is to be able to cross over this. Pujya Swami Tejomayananda shares many insights. Two of the insights he shares Maya is aham and mama. Aham means I-ness. Mama means my-ness. M-Y-N-E-S-S. I-ness and my-ness. I hope you're able to make the connection that I-ness is separation and my-ness is identification. We are engaged in yoga. Yoga is a lifestyle, a vision to unite. And this is why Sri Krishna is investing verse after verse, teaching after teaching, for us to return from doing to being, from separating to loving. The more we know the mechanics of doing, the more we're able to come back. We're able to let go of my-ness, then I-ness, and one rediscovers be-ness. Be-ness. Specifically in verse 18, Shri Krishna shares why act. This is chodana, why act. The three reasons to act, they are the jnata. The jnata is the knower. It is, yesterday as I shared, our print. We all have combinations of vasanas or prints. We have light vasanas, medium vasanas, heavy vasanas. The light vasanas don't make us act that much. The heavy vasanas, even when we don't want to act in a certain way, we still act in that way. And offering more reflections for you. There are three inner disciplines leading to moksha. They are Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Active listening, active reflecting, and active contemplating. For your light vasanas, just by listening, active listening, you can change them. For medium vasanas, active reflecting is needed. For heavy vasanas, the print that you are this body, the print that you are separate, contemplation, active contemplation is needed. I'd shared with those in the silence retreat how you see me live for 15 hours during this retreat, where I'm answering questions, speaking from the scripture and experience. It's not a recording. This is not passive contemplation. The jnata. Then, some teachers have shared the second reason is jnana, which is knowing, and the third reason is jnaya, which is known. Yesterday I shared with you Pujya Swami Tejomayananda's orientation about how jnaya is knowing and jnana is known, but other teachers have switched this around for the sake of simplicity. Jnana means knowing and jnaya means know. So why act? A reason is the knower, the next reason is knowing, and the third reason is know. Is this relatively clear to everyone? The import of why Sri Krishna is getting into these details is to not take acting casually. Be intentional. The second line of this verse relates to karma sangraha. That is not why act, but how act. If there's a Y, it's going to get expressed. How does this get expressed? The three factors are the karta, the karana, and the karma. Karta is the doer, that's like the closest. Karana is the instrument, and the karma is the result, the fruit. Shri Krishna now takes this and elaborates on this over the next 10 verses. He shares more insights into jnana, karta, karma, so that we know our why act, how act, so we can change this. Verse 19. Jnanam karma cha karta cha trideva guna bhedataha prochate guna sankhyane yathavat shrutanyapi. Joy. The first quarter, jnana, based on our earlier definition, it is knowing. Jnana is knowing. This knowing is expressed through the karta. The karta is the doer, and karma is the result. Why act? For knowing. How does this get expressed? Through a doer for a result. That is what is shared in the first quarter. Tridha eva guna bhedataha. In each of these three factors, there are three gunas that can play out within these factors. Gunas like laziness, aggressiveness, and quietness. A reflection for everyone. Whenever we come across the word guna, there should be an association that gunas are an expression of Maya. Maya means not is. Not is. In other words, Maya is not real. So anything that comes from that which is not real also can't be real. Do you agree? Anything that comes from sugar is going to be sweet. And so, the implication of this notion of Maya, guna, etc., is for one to go beyond this. It is good to be sattvic, but it's not the greatest for one to go past this. Third quarter, prochate, what is declared, what is taught, guna, sankhyane, in the science of gunas, in the science of moods. In this science, these moods get expressed into jnana, karta, and karma. The word sankhya means system. One is to follow through with these gunas or these qualities in a systematic way. If you're filled with laziness, you can't jump to quietness. You have to systematically go into raja or aggressiveness and then more. I was sharing with our silence retreaters the difference between passive contemplation. In passive contemplation, there is so much unknown. You don't know the guide personally, you don't know the map personally, so you're never going to feel divinity personally. It's passive. But systematic means there is less unknown. Less unknown. You know the guide personally, you know the map personally, and so you're active with this. So Shri Krishna is sharing here, there is a system for how the gunas play out in why act, how act. Follow this system. Finally, yathavat, intentionally, shrunu. Listen, tani, to these insights, to these teachings. In this verse, Shri Krishna has taken the previous two verses and stated, now I'm going to open this up more. Please try to go back again and again and again to the orientation of this chapter. Renounce results, surrender actions, be free. And Shri Krishna just goes into 10 magnification, 100 magnification, 1,000 magnification about the dynamics of results and actions. That way, renouncing and surrendering is so logical, is natural. 9 more verses just on this verse. For most of you who haven't gotten this verse, don't worry. This is just the table of contents. It's never exciting anyways. It's the chapters that are exciting. From inspiration to application, your application yesterday was to think about what you're going to do to yourself for Bhagwan Rama's Jayanti. The celebration begins on the 9th. This year is particularly special because Bhagwan Rama's Jayanti now can comfortably happen in his home in Ayodhya. We had a special celebration about this in January. I showed you that I got to put my head where he was born. Knowing how special this Jayanti is this year, my suggestion to you is for you to take up the policy of Eka. Bhagwan Rama is known as Eka Patni Vachani Bani, which means he lived in a unitasking way. A clear quality of Bhagwan Rama is that he is focused. Do that to you for him. Your application for this morning is I want you to begin charting out all of the frameworks that are coming in this chapter. Now, 3 more frameworks are coming up just in the next 9 verses. Make sure this is charted out for you. Shanti, 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 Be joy.